Anthony Hartwig with you, and we are joined by a Columbiana swimming player profile. We have Junior Preston Buckingham, not in the Palace, but in Columbiana. Maybe should be in the Palace with the records you're breaking. Um, Preston, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity.
Let's talk about first the records you have. I mean, you're a junior, you have one more year, but I'm counting up these records that you have at Columbiana for the swim program. You 10 records that you hold in Columbiana. What's that mean to you to be able to be um, so well into the record book?
It's definitely special for me. It's something that I could leave my mark on the school.
I'm starting to think like, are there records left to be broken?
There's one. There's one.
There's one. Okay, what's the record that's still yet to fall that you're working for?
It's the 50 freestyle.
All right, let's get that, and then we can have you back on your senior year and talk about what it's like to sweep the whole record book. Let's talk about qualifying for state. Obviously, that's why we brought you on. You're ready to go. You're going to start your state journey tomorrow and Friday, or when the state meet is. What's this moment mean to you, and what's it like to call yourself a state qualifier?
It's definitely special. It kind of just proves that all the work that I've put in over the season has paid off.
You know, when you go to districts and you know that what's on the line, what are some things that are going through your head? How are you able to stay focused, calm, and locked in during districts when you know everything that was on the line?
I kind of just think about it as like any other meet. It's nothing too special. And I go in and I swim my best like at every meet, and the results kind of take care of themselves.
This is your third time at state now. What did you learn from the first two that you're taking into this third time to try to get a better placement than you ever have?
Well, I definitely learned that it's a different environment. There's a lot more people. It's a lot louder, but you kind of have to just lock in and do your thing.
If you go back to your first time ever going down there 2 years ago as a freshman, we have a lot of swimmers that we've even talked to that are making their first trip, making their first qualifier to state. What advice do you give swimmers for their first trip down there, trying to keep it, like you said, it's louder, there's a bigger environment. How were you able to lock it down and treat it like just another meet?
Um, I would say you gotta go in and you gotta just take care of business. You have to act like you would at any other meet, and yeah, the results will take care of themselves.
Obviously, you've made the Columbiana community so proud. When we posted one or two swim profiles last week, people were coming to us in droves, like, "Hey, you got to get Preston. You got to get this player profile up." What does it mean to you to have a community that supports you and supports the sport so much at Columbiana?
I think it's absolutely amazing. I love Columbia and I love all the people here. So to have them backing me, to have them behind me as I travel to state for my third year is something very special to me.
With all the success you've had, have you seen like a growing interest in the sport? Have you seen more people ask you questions about how to get into swimming or how to join the swim team?
Um, since I've been in Columbia on the Columbiana swim team, our swim team has grown in size. My freshman year, we were huge, and we've only gotten larger since. We had the biggest team my freshman season. Beforehand, we'd only had like 4 or 5 people on the team, and my freshman season, I think we had like 13.
What's it mean to you that's a small school? That's a big team for a small school. So many people are interested in the sport in your community.
Oh, I think it's great. I think that a lot of people should swim. Swimming's great. It's shaped me to who I am, and I think that it's a great source of cardio too. So
With the success you've had, you have to be a role model. Like you have to be the guy that people are looking towards, that they want to be, the standard of what Preston is setting. So what's it like to know that guys are looking up to you and guys are using you as a motivating factor to drive themselves to be better?
I just try and be the best role model I can for my teammates, like Ryan Folger, who is also going to state this year. He's my club teammate, and he's like a brother to me. I love that kid so much. So I try and be the best role model I can for him.
And he was the interview right before you, so perfect timing. When you think about the role models that you had, maybe when you were young, the people that you looked up to, who were those guys? Who were the guys that taught you how to be a role model now?
One of my best friends, his name's Colin Kellerman. He plays baseball here at Columbia, and he's also a swimmer. Um, I met him when I was in kindergarten, so we've been best friends for like 10 years now. And he's kind of just taught me um, that you have to stay level headed, and no matter what, you have to face adversity head on and keep your head high.
I ask every swimmer that I talk to this. I don't care how repetitive it gets to people listening, because I think not enough people know about the physical demands that the sport has. Talk about like the work you put in to be as conditioned as you are, and how not easy it is to work as hard as you do.
Right. So my practice schedule weekly is 10 to 15 hours a week. It's roughly 5,000 yards of practice, and that's crammed into hour 45. So that's not a ton of time for the amount of yards that we swim. So we don't really have a ton of rest mid-season, but you reach the end of the season and you start to take yardage off. You get more rest. And that's when your results start coming out. But yeah, it's a lot of work. Plus the dry land that we put into it, and I started personal training this year too. So there's a lot more work that I put in this year.
Okay, you add all of that to schoolwork, being a kid, trying to have a social life. It's a lot of plates to juggle in the air. How do you balance it all?
Um, I would say that there's not a straightforward answer for that. I kind of just take try and do all my schoolwork in school. I have multiple study halls, so I try and knock out my homework while I'm at school. So when I get home, the hour that I have before I start getting ready for practice is time that I can relax and clear my head.
How would you personally grade your time management skills? Like, are you really good at managing your time and getting your stuff done?
Oh boy, I would say that I'm probably worse than my sister, but I kind of have to be, with everything that I have in my schedule, I kind of
Mhm.
have to be pretty good at time management.
What kind of techniques have you? Because I'm guessing with that answer, you haven't always been good at it. Like you've had to grow in your time management skills. What were some techniques or some things that you did to make sure that your skills at time management got better?
Um, well, I would say that doing my work in my study halls is a huge thing. A couple years that I've had study halls, I kind of really haven't done all my schoolwork like I should have, and that causes a lot of stress at home. So doing my work in my study halls is definitely.
Your sister, who you say is a better time manager than you are, did she swim too?
Yes, she's a freshman.
So what's it like to bring her into this program and to see her start her high school career as well?
Oh, she's great. She's a beast. I think that if she didn't get sick right before districts this year, she would have been a state qualifier as well. So look out for her.
That's it. That's always tough to handle. You can't control when your body gets sick. But how much do you compete against each other? Like, do you get into the pool against each other and test skills?
Yeah, it's definitely competitive. I wouldn't say that we race each other a whole lot,
Mhm.
but I try and push Tori.
What's her best event, and how does it compare to the one that you think you thrive the most at?
Oh, we're both breaststrokers. So I swim the 100 breasts and the 2 IM in high school season, and she swam the same events this year.
Now, here's the interesting question. You're the one that you're best at. Is that also your favorite, or do you have one that's like your favorite to do, but it's not necessarily your best time?
My best event is my favorite event, the 100 breaststroke. But I'm also in USA season. I'm more of a 200 breaststroker, but they don't offer
Mhm.
that event in high school. So
How does one develop a favorite stroke? Like, how did you get into, okay, the breaststroke is the one that I'm going to be good at? Is that just something that you found out, or was it just one that, at a young age, you liked doing the most, so you worked harder at it?
yeah, so I started swimming when I was 5, and breaststroke just kind of came easy to me. I started club when I was 8, and it's just kind of evolved from there. And breaststroke has always been something I've been pretty good at. So I just stuck with that, and it is definitely my best and my favorite stroke.
Well, talking to other swimmers, they also brought up training your lung capacity and how important that is for swimmers, and something that is obvious, but you don't really think of as another athlete. If quarterbacks are struggling with accuracy, obviously they go and they just throw the football around. If basketball shooters are struggling with their shot, they get in the gym, they shoot. How do you train your lung capacity? How do you make sure your lung capacity is where it needs to be?
Sure. So we do something called VO2 max, which is um, a lot of fast paced like sprint stuff with minimal rest time. So you're using a lot of oxygen and your lungs are, you're tired, you're breathing heavy, but that's how you train your lung capacity.
So for the people that said, "Oh, you're just sick," but athletes can go be try doing all of that while you're having just even if it's a common cold. Good luck with you with that. So that's
Right.
why sickness can affect you so much as a swimmer. Let's talk about your personal life. What are some things that you do outside of the pool that keep you balanced in a lifestyle and not let your mind be too taken over by the swim?
Oh yeah. So my friend group is huge. I have a close knit group of friends that I try and see as much as I can with my swim schedule being so busy. It's not too often, but I definitely try and see them a lot. And my family is a huge support, and they try and take a load off my shoulders.
Do you have any friends that like aren't swimmers that ask you off the wall questions that are from the outsider perspective of swim?
Yeah, I do. Quite a few of my friends aren't swimmers, and they don't necessarily understand the sport. So I try and explain it the best I can, but it's kind of hard.
What's the FAQ, the most frequently asked question that you get from the outsiders?
Are you going to be in the Olympics? Probably. To that
let's
I
talk.
answer if I keep up the work, maybe.
Let's talk about that, like, because the Olympics are the one time when swimming is in the center stage. Like, it's one of the most popular sports. It's NBC primetime swimming. What's it like for a swimmer of yourself to know that when the Summer Olympics pop up, all of a sudden your sport is one taking center stage?
I think it's great. I think swimming is a super exhilarating sport, and a lot of people don't know that until they watch the Olympics and they watch these close races. Um, I've seen quite a few close races before people get tapped out by 1/100th. Watching the Olympics and just sitting on the side of the pool and watching. So yeah, it gets the adrenaline going.
Do you have a favorite swimmer that does it professionally?
I like Caleb Dressel a lot. I met him in at Spire a couple years ago. He's great.
Well, that'll definitely bump someone to favor when you're able to meet him. Did you get a chance to talk shop with him, or was it just a quick meet and greet?
It was. I went to one of his start clinics, so
Hmm.
like he talked about what his start is like, and he walked us through a couple exercises that he does to improve it. Um, and then I got him to sign my bag and stuff.
If you could sit down one on one with any Olympic swimmer, I mean, whether it be him or someone else, what are some questions that you think you would want to know about what they do for their career and the things that they're able to do to get them to the spot that they're at?
Honestly, I think one of the biggest questions that I asked him is like everybody has a hard time with something at some point in their life. How did they persevere through that struggle, either inside the pool or out, so they could continue competing?
I'm going to turn that question on its head and point it to you. What has been your biggest form of adversity so far in your career, and how did you get past it?
So last year, as a sophomore, I came in um, pretty confident in myself, but I hit a wall about halfway through. I hit a personal issue, so I kind of had to struggle with that through the rest of the season, and that's why I feel like I didn't perform as well as state because it kind of derailed me off my swimming mindset. And
What
so
were some of the what were some of the big things that got you through that out the other side of the tunnel and got you back to where you wanted to be?
definitely my family and my coaches. They made sure that I was okay, and they pushed me to get back and training hard.
All right, Preston, before we let you go, I want to give you the chance to thank all those people that are in your support circle. I'm sure you've mentioned a couple of them already in this interview. I want you to mention them again, give them their time in the sun, and let everyone know who the biggest people are in your circle.
Yeah, so I'd like to thank my mom and my dad and my sister, as well as my grandparents, Grammy, Papa, and Nana. I'd also like to thank Caden, Coleman, Liam, Aiden, Parker, and Rocco, and Ian Less for always being there for me, and Colin Kellerman, of course, for always being someone I could joke with.
A lot of those names we know and from other sports, and they're great athletes at Columbiana. You're one of them, Preston. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today and talking to us about your junior season. Wish you the best of luck at state the next couple of days, and we look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Thank you.